Character and confidence are two invisible forces that can shape how the world responds to you more powerfully than any tangible factor. They don't appear on a resume, cannot be bought with money, and cannot be measured by fleeting compliments. They are subtly revealed in the look you give when facing another person, in the steadiness of your voice when presenting your viewpoint, in the way you enter a room with calm composure, and in the quiet confidence radiating from your posture and every gesture. Within just the first few seconds, others have already unconsciously assessed you. They don't need to know your past or your achievements. They react to the energy and image you project in that very moment. And once that first impression is formed, changing it is many times harder than intentionally shaping it from the start. Therefore, if you do not take control of defining your character and confidence, you will by default allow others to paint a version of you through their own perspectives, experiences, and sometimes their biases. Character is the inner foundation formed through the values, principles, and standards of living you choose to uphold. It shows in how you keep promises to yourself, in your choice to do the right thing even when no one is watching, in how you treat others with kindness without expecting anything in return. A solid character does not need to shout or self-promote, because the consistency between your words and actions is the clearest proof of all. Confidence, on the other hand, is the outward layer that the world perceives most easily. But true confidence is not loudness or showiness. It is the calm state when you know exactly who you are, trust in your abilities, and feel no need to play a role to be accepted. Confidence does not appear when everything goes smoothly. It is forged when you keep moving forward even while afraid, when you choose to face challenges instead of avoiding them. Every act of daring to step beyond hesitation is another brick in the solid foundation of your trust in yourself. These two elements do not exist separately. They support and nurture each other. A strong character helps you stand firm against pressure and temptation, thereby creating deep, enduring confidence. In turn, confidence allows you to express your character clearly and consistently, enabling your inner values to be seen and respected by others. When combined, they become an almost unshakable force, a kind of magnetism that requires no effort to impress, because your very presence is enough to make others listen. In the workplace, a person with clear character is seen as trustworthy, while a person with confidence is perceived as capable of leading. When both converge, you not only accomplish tasks, but are also entrusted with the power to direct and influence. In personal relationships, character and confidence act as a natural filter. You attract those who respect and align with you, while naturally keeping a distance from unhealthy connections. A common mistake is that many people wait for character and confidence to mature over time or assume they are fixed traits that cannot be developed. In reality, they are like muscles. If not exercised regularly, they weaken. And building them does not require grand gestures. It lies in small daily habits. Maintaining eye contact, speaking your viewpoint even when it's imperfect, initiating a greeting, keeping a steady tone of voice, or completing a task you had been tempted to postpone. Each action is a brick. Repeated long enough, those bricks form the solid structure of your personal identity. Once that identity is established, you no longer need to perform confidence or fake character, because they have become a natural part of you. The world will sense that authenticity and respond with genuine respect, not just surface-level impressions. The power of character and confidence lies in their ability to open doors that mere skills or temporary luck cannot. They are the ticket that allows you to step into the opportunities, relationships, and spaces you desire. And the most remarkable thing is that you can create that ticket yourself, starting today, with the smallest choices, repeated with persistence and intention. There's a common mistake many people make. They sit and wait for a sense of confidence to arrive before starting something. They believe that on some beautiful day when confidence knocks at their door, they'll be ready to act. But the harsh truth is, if you wait, you'll be waiting forever. Confidence is not a gift that falls from the sky. It is the product of consistent, repeated action. Every step you take, no matter how small, lays a brick in the foundation of your confidence. A person who once felt timid speaking in public cannot become a speaker simply by reading books or listening to theories. He must stand up, speak in front of a few people, make mistakes, turn red, then do it again. It is that process, imperfect but persistent, that truly nurtures confidence. What you must understand is this: confidence comes after, not before. When you take action, even when you're not ready, you send a powerful message to your subconscious: I am capable of trying. Each time you try, your brain records that attempt, no matter how small. and accumulates it into a solid inner reservoir. Successful people aren't different from you because they were born with unshakable faith. The only difference is that they were willing to move forward before feeling safe. They allowed themselves to step into the unknown, and with each experience, confidence formed as a natural result. If you wait until fear disappears before you begin, you will remain stuck forever. Fear is the companion of every great beginning. But when you face it and act alongside it, bit by bit, the fear dissolves and leaves behind strength. Set small challenges for yourself every day. If you fear social interaction, start by clearly greeting and smiling at a stranger. If you fear rejection, deliberately place yourself in situations where rejection is possible, and you'll discover that the worst-case scenario isn't nearly as scary as you imagine. Each day, just move forward by 1%. A year from now, you'll see that you've completely transformed. Confidence isn't a sudden burst. It's the result of hundreds, even thousands, of moments when you chose to act instead of waiting. And you'll come to realize something magical. The more you act, the more deserving you feel. And when the feeling of worthiness embeds itself deeply in your mind, confidence becomes part of your identity. At that point, you're no longer searching for confidence, you become it. So don't ask, when will I be confident enough to begin? Ask instead, what can I do today to be more confident than I was yesterday? That answer and the action that follows will change your entire future. The eyes are a primal language humanity has used long before there were any written words or spoken sounds. They require no translation, no explanation, yet they can reach the deepest layers of emotion in the soul of the person before you. A sincere gaze can dissolve all distance and instantly build trust, while a glance that's evasive or indifferent can destroy goodwill in mere seconds. If you want to become someone with presence, someone others want to listen to, collaborate with, and follow, you must begin by mastering your eye contact. Looking someone in the eye is not just a social gesture. It's a powerful message that says, I am present, I respect you, you have my full attention. In today's world where people are so easily distracted by phones and screens, genuinely looking someone in the eye during conversation becomes a rare sign of respect and authentic connection. And it is precisely that rarity that makes you stand out. But eye contact isn't about staring stiffly. It's about balance between focus and ease, between observing and giving space. When you look at someone with sincerity, relaxed facial muscles, a steady yet unforced gaze, you're sending out a biological signal of safety. The other person's brain responds instinctively, releasing oxytocin, the bonding hormone, making them feel closer to and more trusting of you. The eyes also have the power to convey emotion more strongly than any words. When you're joyful, they brighten. When you're caring, they soften. When you're serious, they sharpen. What matters is your honesty. A fake look, no matter how well rehearsed, is easily spotted. The human body is wired to detect inconsistency between what the eyes say and what the words claim. So if you want your gaze to carry real magnetism, let it arise from genuine emotion within. To develop this skill, you need to practice in the smallest situations. When greeting someone, don't just smile out of courtesy. Hold your gaze a beat longer. When shaking hands, look them in the eye instead of looking at the hand. When listening to someone's story, let your eyes prove that you are truly listening. Over time, this habit will become a natural part of your presence, and you'll notice that people begin to respond to you very differently. Your eyes also reflect your internal state. If you're not confident, your gaze will dart away. If you're tense, it will flicker nervously. On the other hand, when you are calm and know what you're doing, your gaze will be steady and grounded. This means that in order to communicate well through eye contact, you must also develop inner strength and emotional control. You cannot fake it for long. Your eyes will always give you away if you're not solid inside. Here's another key. Let your eyes speak even when you're silent. In a meeting, when someone else is talking, you don't need to interrupt or voice your opinion immediately. Simply hold focused eye contact, nod slightly when you agree, furrow your brow when you seek clarity. You are already communicating without speaking. This is how great leaders assert presence without dominating with words. However, you must also recognize the cultural differences in eye contact. In some cultures, prolonged eye contact is seen as respectful. In others, it may be viewed as challenging or rude. So when interacting with people from different backgrounds, observe how they use eye contact and adjust accordingly. Being a good communicator is not just about mastering yourself, it's also about reading others and adapting with subtlety. Most importantly, don't treat eye contact as merely a social technique. It is a tool for genuine connection, a way to show others that they matter. In a noisy world where everyone is in a rush, an attentive gaze is a rare gift. And when you offer that gift consistently, you build relationships that are deeper and more lasting than any spoken promise. Remember, every word you say, every gesture you make, every action you take, your eyes either reinforce it or undo it. You can say wonderful things, but if your gaze is scattered, your listener won't believe you. On the other hand, even if you say very little, but your eyes are full of trust, people will feel your power. So begin today, train your presence through your gaze. Every time you look at someone, let your eyes become a bridge, not a wall. If you want your eyes to become a reliable foundation for every conversation, you must first treat eye contact as a skill to be trained, not as an instinct that only comes naturally to some people. You don't wait for the feeling of readiness. You create it through deliberate daily practice until one day those attentive and guiding eyes operate as a natural reflex of your presence. The first step is awareness. In every interaction, ask yourself, what is my gaze saying right now? Is it saying, I'm here, or I want to escape? Simply shifting attention to your eyes can already transform your energy. Your shoulders relax, your breath deepens, your voice slows and becomes clearer, all of which create a safe field that invites the other person to open up. After awareness comes rhythm. The rhythm of eye contact isn't about stiff staring, but a series of small, intentional movements. Connect, pause, return. A simple rule to practice is the 3-1-3 rhythm. While listening, maintain eye contact for about 3 seconds, release your gaze to a neutral object for 1 beat, then return to the speaker's eyes for another 3 seconds. When responding, start with clear eye contact. Emphasize key phrases with your gaze. Then take a brief pause before transitioning to the next point. This rhythm removes the feeling of being stared at and shows you are leading, not passively enduring, the conversation. If timing feels tricky, try the triangle trick. Alternate your gaze between the person's left eye, right eye, and the point between their eyebrows, holding briefly at each point. This creates a stable, yet natural sense of presence. Next is quality. A gaze with technique but no emotion feels dry. A sincere gaze without technique may drift. Combine both with 3 elements: breath, facial muscles, and inner dialogue. Steady breathing softens the pupils and stabilizes your gaze. Relaxed facial muscles with slightly lifted corners of the mouth add warmth without turning into a forced smile. Positive inner talk, I genuinely want to understand this person, infuses your gaze with goodwill. You'll notice that when your inner state shifts, your outward presence aligns. Your pupils stop darting, your eyebrows relax, and pauses between thoughts feel more natural. To practice, start from low-pressure contexts and work your way up. On the first day, aim for 5-10 ultra-brief interactions. Greet the security guard, thank the cashier, ask for directions. In each, focus on a single goal: to be present long enough for them to feel your presence. On the second day, move to medium-level interactions. Talk for 1-2 minutes with coworkers, classmates, or family. Add the 3-1-3 rhythm and triangle technique. After a week, enter light-pressure scenarios. Speaking in a small group, asking or answering in a meeting. Practice beginning your sentence with eye contact, anchoring your gaze on the person most relevant to your message, and sweeping softly to others so everyone feels included. In the advanced stage, train your eye space management. When speaking to a group, your eyes become the conductor. Inviting person A to speak with a look. Reassuring person B with a slight head tilt, and wrapping up with a slow sweep across the room. A common barrier is anxiety. Anxiety causes the eyes to flee. Fleeing eyes increase anxiety. To break the loop, prepare with physiological anchors. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 2, exhale for 6. Touch your thumb to your index finger as a cue to return to the present. Plant your feet flat on the floor to feel gravity. When entering a conversation, pick a safe zone to briefly rest your gaze when needed, such as the cheekbone, outer eye corner, or space between the eyebrows. Then return to the pupil. You're not avoiding connection, you're regulating intensity to maintain composure. Pay attention to context and culture. In formal settings, your gaze should be firm and brief, with clean transitions. In casual settings, the eyes can stay longer, paired with a smiling gaze. Smize to build warmth. With sensitive individuals, reduce the duration of direct eye contact, increase the frequency of slight nods to reassure them. In multicultural environments, observe feedback cues. If the other person repeatedly looks down yet sounds relaxed, their culture may view prolonged eye contact as impolite. Adjust accordingly. Don't impose your standard. True skill lies in subtle adaptability, not rigid right or wrong. In challenging situations, difficult conversations, negative feedback, or moments when your competence is questioned, eye contact becomes a silent lever of authority. You don't need to raise your voice. Hold your gaze steady when stating facts. Lower it slightly when acknowledging flaws. Raise it again when offering solutions. Each eye movement carries meaning, respect, responsibility, commitment. The listener will feel your steadiness even before they agree with your point. This is why skilled negotiators train their eyes before their words. Common mistakes include freezing and overpowering. Freezing means holding your gaze too long with tense pupils and stiff facial muscles. The other person feels scrutinized. Overpowering is using your gaze as pressure paired with a domineering tone. To correct both, return to your three anchors: breath, facial muscles, and inner dialogue. Breathe to soften your eyes, loosen your mouth for warmth. Remind yourself, I'm here to understand, not to interrogate. Just 3 seconds of adjustment can completely shift the quality of your presence. Finally, build a practice system for lasting habit change. Morning, 3 minutes in front of a mirror, read a short passage, practice the 3-1-3 rhythm with a smiling gaze. Daytime, set a goal of 10 intentional eye contact interactions in everyday life. Evenings, jot down 3 moments you did well and 1 area to improve, e.g., paused too quickly when they got emotional. After 21 days, you'll see clear results. People become more open, their responses are longer and more sincere, meetings are less tense, and most importantly, you'll feel more grounded in your presence. Ultimately, eye contact is not just a technique, it's a commitment. A commitment to see others as human beings, not just roles in your day. When that commitment is real, technique will serve sincerity, and sincerity will multiply the power of technique. Begin with your very next conversation. Drop your shoulders, breathe deeply, and let your eyes say what every human being longs to hear. I see you, and you matter. Shyness in making eye contact is not a character flaw. It is a survival reflex that prioritizes safety over connection. But we don't let instincts lead. We use intelligence to redesign reflexes, transforming the eyes from a shelter of awkwardness into a doorway to trust. Step 1. Understand the mechanism to neutralize exaggeration. When your eyes avert, the brain is predicting judgment. That prediction is usually far worse than reality. Ask yourself, how many times have I made eye contact and something terrible happened? Almost never. Acknowledging the gap between imagination and reality helps reduce false alarms and clears a path for action. Step 2, set measurable goals. Don't say, I want to be more confident. Say, in each conversation, I'll maintain eye contact for 60-70% of the time. Numbers turn desire into a plan. Plans turn hesitation into steps. Step 3, practice the 3-1-3 rhythm. When someone speaks, maintain eye contact for 3 seconds. Gently release your gaze to a neutral object for a short beat, then return for another 3 seconds. When you speak, start your sentence with eye contact. Emphasize the key idea and pause lightly before transitioning. This rhythm allows you to be present without applying pressure. Step 4, use the SAFE triangle. Alternate your gaze between the left eye, right eye, and the point between the eyebrows. Hold each point briefly. This is a helpful trick when your heart is still racing, but you want to remain composed. Step 5, anchor your physiology to reduce tension. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6 before speaking. Plant your feet firmly on the ground to feel gravity. Touch your thumb to your index finger as a cue to return to the present. These 3 small actions help settle darting eyes and shaky voices. Step 6, Create an intentional exposure ladder. Write down 10 situations from easiest to hardest. Greet the security guard, thank the cashier, ask for directions, chat with a coworker, speak in a small group, give direct feedback, present to a manager, negotiate with a client, handle conflict, speak before a crowd, climb one rung each day. No skipping. Track your progress instead of demanding perfection. Step 7, use inner dialogue as your guide. Before each conversation, remind yourself of 3 lines. I'm here to understand. I control the rhythm. I have enough time. The right inner talk soothes fear and returns the steering wheel to reason. Step 8, align your body with your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Keep your chin parallel to the ground. Open your hands. Correct posture makes your gaze trustworthy. Hunched shoulders, tucked chin, or covering your mouth will sabotage your effort. Step 9, adapt to context and culture. In formal settings, make your gaze firm and brief with sharp transitions. In casual settings, you can stay longer and smile with your eyes. With sensitive individuals, shorten direct eye contact and increase nodding to reassure them. In multicultural work, observe responses. If someone consistently looks down but speaks comfortably, their culture may view prolonged eye contact as rude. Adjust. Don't impose your standards. True skill lies in subtle adaptation, not rigid correctness. In high-stakes situations, difficult conversations, negative feedback, doubts about your ability, your gaze becomes a silent lever of authority. You don't need to raise your voice. Keep your eyes steady when stating facts, lower them slightly when acknowledging areas for improvement, and raise them again when proposing a solution. Each movement carries intent. Respect, responsibility, commitment to resolution. The listener will feel your grounded presence before they agree with your reasoning. This is why skilled negotiators train their gaze before their words. Avoid these 3 major mistakes. First, the heroic stare. This is fear disguised as dominance. Locking eyes without release only makes the other person want to retreat. Fix it with breath and the 3-1-3 rhythm. Second, the eye escape, a reflex under pressure. Fix it with a safe triangle and physiological anchors. Remember, you're regulating intensity, not avoiding connection. Third, the scripted emotions, sticking a fake smile onto your gaze. The human body is highly attuned to incongruence. Shift to authentic inner talk. Truly want to understand. Truly want to help. Start with a 7-day warm-up. Days 1-2, practice 3-1-3 in front of a mirror. Days 3-4, apply in 5 brief interactions. Days 5-6, use it in a small meeting. Day 7, review your notes and fine-tune your rhythm. Here's a subtle trick to ease shyness. Instead of looking into eyes, try reading eyes. Look for signals that they're ready to open up, that they need you to slow down, that they just had an idea. When your attention is fully on them, you forget yourself and shyness falls away like an ill-fitting coat. Remember, lead with intelligence, not instinct. Instinct says avoid. Intelligence says show up. Instinct seeks speed and intensity. Intelligence chooses rhythm and precision. Each time you choose intelligence, you rewrite reflex. Today, just one intentional gaze better than yesterday is enough. Repeat it long enough and your eyes will no longer be a hiding place for discomfort, but a warm porch of trust. You begin in your next conversation. Breathe 4-2-6. Recall your 3 guiding phrases. Raise your gaze as a greeting. Hold it with the 3-1-3 rhythm and let the energy of care lead the way. When you do that one small thing, you prove to yourself that shyness doesn't need to disappear first. It fades later because you've chosen intelligence to lead. Speaking up in inconvenient moments is not impulsiveness. It is a deliberate choice made by someone who prioritizes intellect over instinct. Instinct seeks safety, the comfort of blending into the majority to avoid judgment. Intellect asks, where will this silence lead? Will it affect the quality of the decision, mutual respect, or even my self-worth? When you respond with that question, you shift from reaction to choice, from avoidance to responsibility. The starting point is your values compass. You cannot speak with weight unless you know what you're protecting. Write down 3 core values that guide your communication. For example, honesty, respect, effectiveness. Before each meeting or sensitive conversation, repeat them like a vow. I speak to clarify truth, maintain respect, and drive progress. Once your compass is set, you become less reliant on momentary discomfort, and your words flow more clearly and efficiently. Next is the smart pause. Don't let emotion drive your mouth. Breathe 4-2-6. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Feel the ground through the soles of your feet. Then follow the clarity formula. Cease, look at facts, align intent, respond. Just a few seconds are enough to shift from I'm upset to I intend to contribute. This pause doesn't slow you down. It gives you control, turning your words into precise tools instead of defensive reactions. To express yourself effectively, use the 3-step communication frame. Observation. 1, neutral observation. I notice that option A lacks maintenance cost data. 2, specific impact. If we overlook this, the budget risk is high. 3, clear suggestion. I propose we take 24 hours to verify the data and compare it with option B. This approach reduces personal friction and anchors the conversation in facts and solutions. Timing and channel selection are also signs of wisdom. Speak up during the meeting if the risk of error is high and immediate correction is needed. But if the issue touches personal sensitivities, consider a private exchange to preserve